Welcome back, fans, to another episode of the ECHL Insider. I am your host, Garrett Hunter, and this will be our Thanksgiving edition episode. So we will go over what each division of the ECHL is thankful for. But before we get to that, let's give you a recap of last week's action. We will start in the South Division with a big-time matchup Sunday afternoon between the South Carolina Stingrays and Atlanta Gladiators. And the South Carolina Stingrays kept their winning ways going with a 3-2 win over the Gladiators. Also notable from last week, Savannah went out west to face the Tahoe Night Monsters. They were able to come up with the first victory in that series, but it was all Tahoe from there as the Night Monsters took the series 2 wins out of the 3 games. And finally, the Adirondack Thunder and Indy Fuel played 2 very low-scoring, close games Friday and Saturday. The first game Friday night was a Fuel victory, 2-1 over the Adirondack Thunder. And then Saturday night took 60 minutes in regulation and 7 minutes in overtime, a total of 67 minutes with no goals, and then a shootout win for the Adirondack Thunder. They win it 1-0 in the shootout over Indy. Well, up next is what each ECHL division is thankful for. We will talk about 2 things to be thankful for each ECHL division. So let's kick it off with the North Division. How about the Wheeling-Reading rivalry that has developed? These 2 teams have looked great so far this year. We saw this rivalry a little bit last year, but it's really taken shape so far at the beginning of this season. Each team 2-2 against each other through 4 matchups. And, I mean, you can just tell when these 2 teams hit the ice against each other, they just absolutely hate each other. They also got a little bit of respect for each other, though, in the sense that, you see the rosters, you see of both teams. They're really, really good this year. And I think they're going to compete down the stretch for the top of the North Division. So it should be interesting down the stretch. But this is a heated rivalry so far. And Nailers and Royals will be fun to watch this season. Second in the North Division, we've got to talk about Kelly Cup bragging rights to be thankful for, right? The Kelly Cup champion Trois-Rivières Lions still alive and well in the North Division. Yes, they're not at the top of the division so far, but they've been very impressive to me. Ron Chul's all-Canadian roster again this year. He's looking to run it back-to-back with all Canada players and get back-to-back Kelly Cups. So we'll see if they're able to do that. But they got to be thankful for the fact right now that they can say they're the Kelly Cup champions looking to go back-to-back do the Lions. We'll pivot now to the South Division, where what is the South thankful for? That the big boys are back, right? The South Carolina Stingrays and Florida Everblades look really good to start the season. They occupy the 2 top spots of the division, and I expect, just like last season, that it will come down to the wire. These 2 teams battling it out for first and second place all season long in the South Division. That is my prediction. We'll see how it goes, but there is a ton of hatred between these 2 teams. We saw that when they played 2 times last week, Florida winning both of those matchups, and we saw it a ton last year in the regular season. So Stingrays and Everblades is definitely something to keep an eye out for, and these 2 teams look like they'll battle each other in a positive way all the way to the finish for the top spot in the South Division. Also, something to be thankful for in the South Division is Stingrays goaltender Mitchell Gibson. Through 8 appearances right now, he has a 1.78 goals against average and a .941 save percentage. I mean, absolutely incredible. A few weeks ago in Orlando, he stopped 46 of 48 shots. Just an incredible performance from Gibson so far this season. He's already been goaltender of the week once, and he just looks like he's just getting started, really. I mean, he is a American League contracted goalie, but this is his 2nd season in the South Carolina organization, and he has just been a really bright spot for this team that has a lot of great players, but he is as talented as any, really, at that goaltending spot right now in the ECHL. Well, now we will pivot over to the Central Division. And what is the Central Division thankful for? How about the dynamic duo of Jack O'Brien and Jackson Nelson for the Iowa Heartlanders? They each have 17 points and combined 19 goals. I mean, what do you do against these two for the Heartlanders? Definitely, teams have to be aware of this. I mean, every time they hit the ice, you got to put that shutdown line out there and just hope that they won't score, because they are just so dynamic. They've been unstoppable, really, through the first month plus of the season. So just definitely something to keep a lookout for. If these two players just keep scoring at this rate, they could be, really carrying Iowa to a playoff spot, and really just a big issue to look out for their opponents. But Jackson Nelson and Jack O'Brien, really talented forwards right now for the Iowa Heartlanders. And also in the Central Division, what else can they be thankful for? The Fort Wayne Komets start on the road. Listen to this, 8-3 road record to start the year. They had 11 straight road games to start the year. Their arena wasn't ready for them yet. They were getting a new ice thing put in underneath to cool the ice, and so that was not ready yet. They had to start the season with 11 games on the road, but they went 8-3 in that stretch. Guys, that is including games at Toledo, at Florida, at Indy. I mean, teams that were playoff teams last year, they went in there and beat those teams. So really good to see Fort Wayne this good on the road. And you'll see their fight of the week at the end of this episode. Well, finally, let's get to the Mountain Division. And we definitely saved some of the best for last of what to be thankful for out west. How about the Tahoe Night Monsters? Tied for first place in the Mountain Division, just their second season of existence. And we talked about the dynamic duo in Iowa. How about the arguably the most dynamic duo other than those two Iowa players, Casey Bailey and Sloan Stanek for the Night Monsters? Absolute dynamite. Stanek 21 points this season and Casey Bailey 18 points this season. I mean, again, the shutdown line, you can throw out your shutdown line against these two players, but it might not work. I mean, they are just insane so far to start the season at a fiery pace to go get the MVP, to go get really just, this Tahoe team into a deep playoff run. I mean, this is a just unstoppable top line of a forward pair for the Tahoe Night Monsters. And Stanek was Rookie of the Year last year. Bailey, this is his first season with the Night Monsters. He has been very good. And these two young players are very fun to watch for the Tahoe Night Monsters. Well, up next, what else can the Mountain Division be thankful for? How about Marcus Crawford? Got to give a defenseman some love, right? Marcus Crawford, 20 points from the blue line for KC this year. He has been, with the Mavericks for several seasons, but he is off to an amazing start on the back end for the Kansas City Mavericks. This Mavericks team, they have a lot of experienced guys they brought back, a lot of talent. Think about the goaltender they still have in Jack LaFontaine. Still being in the pipeline is really important, but Marcus Crawford, as good as they come on the blue line in the ECHL, 20 points. I think you can call that an offensive defenseman if you want to give him that name, but he has been just really fun to watch, and he'll score, but he will also just absolutely shut you down on the defensive side. After all, he is a defenseman, and he is one of the best at his position in the ECHL. Well, that will do it for our Thanksgiving edition episode. One more thing for you to be thankful for is the fight that I'm about to show you between two big boys, Fort Wayne's Nico Blatchman and Kalamazoo's Spencer Kennedy, dropping the gloves, taking off the helmets at center ice to start the second period on Saturday night. And what a fight this was. So enjoy it, and we will see you next week for more ECHL action.
They just need to come out flying right now. Like I said, get that first one.
Yeah, the Comets' best period has been that second period. And we got a face-off out at center ice and ready to go. Comets 17 goals in the second period, but now we're going to have a heavyweight Tilly. We have got Kennedy and Blashman. They've thrown the gear off. They are going out to center ice, and they're going to throw hands. Blashman looking in there. Gets in there with a right. Now Kennedy with a little uppercut. Now they're going to lock up. Blashman trying to force him to the boards. Here's a left by Blashman. Another left, another left, another left, and another right. It's going to go back to Blashman. Now they both go down. Yes, and Blashman takes them to the ice.
Well, Blashman had to climb a ladder to find his chin. He's a big boy at 6'6", but he was able to get there. Two Warriors just playing it mano-mano right on the center dot. Gotta love it.
That's what you want to see.